Good morning and welcome to my channel. I'm MrTieDye, and today I'm going to do a request of a t-shirt that I had done years ago. A tie-dye tie. So like if you want to dress up but you really don't want to, you can wear a tie-dye tie tee. I used to make a bunch of these back in the day, and recently I was looking through a photo album from 15 years ago and seeing some matching tie tees like this one here. So anyways, I decided that after a few requests it was time to do a tie-dye tie. I know there's probably some other videos out there, but I know people like to see my videos, so I'm going to do one. I'm just going to do a basic one, but you can either draw yourself out a template or you can just freehand it. I like to just freehand it because I adjust the size of the tie according to the tee. The one thing to remember, I am working on just the front of the tee, so I tucked one sleeve into the other to center the tee. That way I had the middle of the front of the tee separate, and this here is the back of the tee. I do have a video. If you look down in the description box, you will see a video for how I do the centering of the tee, tucking one sleeve into the other. That will help you guys get the nice center of the front of the tee. Also, you'll find a bunch of the different various tools that I use that I buy from Amazon. That's something, if you want to support this channel, you can, and you are wanting to use those tools, if you click on one of those links, then I get credit for it and you guys get a great tool. Anyways, let's just get started here. So what I'm going to do is just draw the tie on here. Remember that since this here is folded in half, the tie is going to be twice as wide. So if you make this here 4 inches, just know that you're going to have an 8-inch tie. So I'm probably going to stick closer to 2 or 3 inches, and that'll make a 4 to 6 inch wide tie down here at the bottom. The top here, I usually will just draw just a little triangle. You can make this, once again, as big as you like. So if we're looking at this here, I got just under a 2-inch knot, so that means that's going to be about 4 inches up here at the neckline. So that sounds about good. I'm going to draw this down. This here would be my knot here, and now I use a ruler to draw out, and I kind of like to mark out the bottom where I want my tie at. So I like mine to come down, not all the way to the bottom of the tee, but I'm going to go about 5 or 6 inches up from there. Draw a little line, and then from there, how wide do you want your tie? So if I want 5 inches wide, then I'm going to go 2.5 inches. I'm going to make my little dot out here. So what I have here is a little bit of a triangle shape, and now I can just fill in this last line. Well, actually 2 lines, but from where I put my knot up here down to how wide I want my tie, I draw a straight line, and then I can draw a straight line down from how wide my tie is down to how long I want it to be. And from there now, I'm going to just fold all of this, and I will tie mine with kite string, but you can tie it with sinew or whatever your preferred method of tying is. The other thing that I had on my ties from back in the day was a little tie tack. So we're going to add one of those in also. Let's see. You can draw whatever shape. I had just like an oval shape. This time I think I'm going to draw a diamond-shaped tie tack. But you can draw whatever shape you like on your tie, or you can leave the tie blank. I'm going to dye this in a solid color, but I've seen others where they do the fancy DNAs and all kinds of different fancy ties, but we're going to go with just a basic tie-dye tie tee. So then the tricky part comes in all of the folding. Like I say, I drew this right under the collar here, so I am going to have to kind of fold the collar, but the part that I'm going to tie is right below the collar, so that's not too bad. Okay, and then I ended the run going across this way on the downward side here. So what I'm going to do is take this line that's going down at a diagonal, and I'm going to fold it up around and lay it right on there. So it's just a matter of twisting the t-shirt around to get it the way you want it. Get that line straight up, and now I have this other line going down from there. I know it's kind of tricky to see here in my fingers, but I just need to make a video where I can show that and just do a bigger line. So maybe I'll get that done soon too. So there's the knot part, and now I'm heading down on this long straight line here. Oh, and I think just because I want to capture that line, that knot area in there, what I'm going to do is go ahead and start my tie-dye tie on here with my kite string. So that will just help hold that little knot in place as I fold the rest of this t-shirt up. So I'm just making a slip knot. I do have a video on how I tie my slip knots. I made it with a rope so you could see. Yeah, I think that's the better way of doing the videos. I'll make one on this folding thing where it's larger and you can see the detail of what I'm doing. Anyways, I'm just tying this up because I want to keep track of that knot, and also doing this tie will help kind of put a little bit of a crease in that tie later on when I dye it. So now I'm just going to line this line up with this tie that I just made here. Let me see if I can show that. And I left the string attached here, so you can see that I'm just going to fold right down that line. And this string is still attached over here out of my way. I'm down to the end there. Like I say, I still have this tied on, so I can just kind of slide it right under my shirt, line it up, and tie right along that same line there. And I'm pulling this just a little bit tight. Like I say, you guys can tie this with sinew. The one that I did in the video, I think I tied it with sinew and it gave me a little white outline. This one I'm not going to do that. I'm going to outline it with black. But like I say, you guys can do this however you like to do it. Now I have my little diamond thing there on the tie, so I'm going to start out by tying myself a slip knot so that I'm ready once I have that folded. And then I'm just going to pleat this just like I would any other image. These are little tiny pleats, so it's hard to see, but I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just tying, or just pleating up little tiny, probably 1/8 inch pleats here on this line. Like I say, this is my little tie tack. You don't have to put one of those on, but since that was in the photo from 2008, I just thought I would include it in this video. Okay, now we're going to tie that off. And this kite string might even cause just a little bit of a white line also, depending on how tight you tie it. Okay, now the rest of the tee. I think we'll do a little spine up the back. I'm tucking the sleeves down into their own sleeve hole here, just to get them out of the way. And I'm not going to do a nice even straight pleat. I'm just going to do kind of a wavy pleat up the back. I like to kind of play around with the back design a little bit. So you can finish off this back however you want. You can just scrunch the whole thing up if you like. But I'm going to do a wavy pleated spine up the back here, where I'm just kind of going back and forth up the T, just playing. Now the rest of the T, I'm just going to scrunch it up. So we already have the arms scrunched into their armhole here. So now we're just going to scrunch the rest of the T around it. And the other thing that I do when I'm tying image tees, wherever I have this image at, I've got this line all tied, and that's my tie up there. So what I'm doing now when I'm tying up the rest of the tee is trying to make sure that I kind of pull the rest of the scrunch back. So like with these two lines here, you can see that I'm pulling it back away from this main line here, just so that when I'm dyeing my tie, I'm not getting some of that same color splashed down on the tee there. So it's just about trying to separate that by pulling the rest of the tee down away from this line here. There is our tie-dye tie and a wavy spine up the back and scrunch on the rest. Let's get some gloves on. Okay, so today we're going to dye the tee in a couple shades of green. I think we're going to do a turquoise tie, and let's put a purple tie tack that has a fuchsia edge around it. So I'm going to start, let's zoom in just a little bit here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is outline my tie. But like I say, you don't have to outline it. You can just dye it the solid color, or you can tie this with sinew instead of kite string. But I'm going to outline mine with thick black dye. And I do have a recipe for how I make the thick black dye. And because it's thicker, it doesn't soak in. So whenever I apply it to a line like that, I like to just use my cuticle pusher to just kind of shove it down deeper into the t-shirt. Trying to make sure I have a more solid line there. But like I say, you don't have to use thick black dye. You can tie it with sinew, or you can just dye it just straight, just regular. So anyway, there's my outline. And now for the tie tack part, I'm going to put fuchsia around the edge. So I'm going to dye that first, right along the line there. And then I'm going to add some purple to the middle. And just to make sure that all that stuff doesn't spread too far, I'm just going to soak up the excess. I just take a clean dry rag, squeeze that, and then that will kind of hold all of that. Now when I put turquoise on here, it's going to mix with my fuchsia and give me purple. So that's going to make the purple tie tack have a fuchsia and purple line around it almost. Yeah, that's saturated pretty good. I'm just going to put just a little bit more on here. And there's my blue tie. And now the back of the tee, I did a wavy spine up the back, I'm going to go ahead and use my 3 colors from my tie on the back also. Alright, and the rest of the tee I'm going to do in 2 shades of green. So when I do that, I always like to put my lighter shade down first. And I can see where my tie is wanting to spread under here, so this is a good time to get this dye put on to stop that spreading. I think the spreading is really just about the liquid wanting to move and equalize throughout the t-shirt. So as I put the rest of the colors on, that helps stop the spreading of the colors. Now we're going to move our bottles here. So to start with, I had turquoise, purple, fuchsia, turquoise, purple, fuchsia. So now what I'm going to do is start with the turquoise, or the fuchsia up here. So I'm going to put that in the place where I had my turquoise. Alright, now for the final color here, I like to add the dark color over top. Here is the tie-dye tie tee. You guys will see the results here in about 2 seconds. But I'm going to let this batch for 48 hours and then rinse it out and stuff. So please like and share my content. Peace, love, light, and laughter. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to Hippie Christmas with MrTieDye. So we're going to open up the tie-dye tea tie, or tie-dye tie tea. Alright, let's get this opened up. There's your tie-dye tie tee. Your little tie tack. And there's the wavy spine that I did up the back. So I'll get this rinsed out and posted up here in about 2 seconds. Peace, love, light, and laughter.